Hello and welcome back to Mystic English. Today I want to tell you the story of a man who saw the future long before the world was ready for it. A man who dreamed of giving free energy to every single person on Earth, but who died poor, alone, and almost forgotten. His kindness was his greatest strength and also his greatest weakness. He was a genius who gave us electricity, wireless communication, and a vision of the modern world, but received little in return. This is not just the story of an inventor. It's the story of a dreamer. A man who proved that even if the world forgets you, your work can still light up humanity for centuries to come. So stay with me till the very end, because there's one lesson in his life that will completely change how you see success and sacrifice. And if you enjoy stories that help you learn English, stay motivated, and grow as a person, don't forget to subscribe to Mystic English. Here, we don't just tell stories. We give you lessons to speak better English and live a better life, one inspiring story at a time. This is the story of Nikola Tesla, the brilliant inventor who helped to create the modern world we know today. He was a man who saw the future and worked tirelessly to build it for all of us. He dreamed of a world full of light and power, and his kindness and vision continue to inspire us. Our story begins in a small village called Smiljan, in what is now Croatia, in 1856. On the night Nikola was born, a powerful thunderstorm lit up the sky. From a very young age, Nikola saw the world in a special way. He was not just looking at things, he was seeing how they worked. As a child, he would sit for hours and watch the power of a waterfall, not just the beautiful water falling, but the raw force behind it. He imagined how that energy could be used to do good things for people. He was fascinated by the unseen forces of nature, by electricity, and by the power that was hidden all around him. His mother, who was also an inventor who made many tools for their home, was the first person to truly understand his unique and imaginative mind. She would encourage his curiosity, and he would often help her with her own little inventions. Nikola had an amazing memory. He could read a book or an article just once and remember every single word on the pages. He could also solve extremely difficult math problems in his head, without ever needing to write anything down. This brilliant ability often surprised his teachers and friends. His mind was always at work, filled with bright, vivid visions of his inventions, which he could see clearly as if they were real objects before he ever built them. As a young man, Nikola studied engineering and physics at the Polytechnic Institute in Graz, Austria. One day in class, he saw a demonstration of a direct current, or DC, motor. The motor used noisy, sparking brushes to operate, and the professor told the class that it was simply impossible to create a motor that could run without these brushes. But for Nikola, this was not an impossible problem. It was a challenge. In that very moment, a vision came to him. He saw a new motor, one that would not need brushes. He imagined a motor that would spin in a perfect, smooth way, powered by a new type of electricity, alternating current, or AC. The idea was so beautiful and perfect in his mind that he became completely obsessed with it. Everyone told him to give up on this idea, but the vision was so perfect and clear in his mind that he never forgot it. He eventually moved to Paris for work with the Continental Edison Company, where he continued to work on his AC motor in secret. He worked long hours, solving complicated engineering problems, but his mind always returned to his dream. He eventually decided to travel to America, a place where he believed he could finally make his big dreams a reality. In 1884, Nikola Tesla arrived in New York City with very little money, but a big dream. He had a letter of recommendation for Thomas Edison, who was already a famous inventor and a kind of celebrity in America. Edison worked with DC power, which was great for lighting homes nearby, but it could not travel very far without losing most of its power. Tesla, on the other hand, had a vision for AC power that could light up entire cities and countries from a single power station. Edison saw Tesla's potential and gave him a job improving his DC generators and motors. He promised Tesla a large sum of money, a huge $50,000, if he could succeed. Tesla worked incredibly hard, day and night, and made the generators much better and more efficient. But when he asked for his payment, Edison did not pay him and said it was all just a joke about American humor. Tesla was deeply disappointed and felt betrayed, but he was not defeated. He left his job with Edison and, for a short time, had to do hard manual labor, digging ditches to make a living. But he never gave up on his dream. Soon, he found new partners who believed in his genius and helped him start his own company to build his AC system. Tesla's AC system was a huge breakthrough that would change the world forever. He filed hundreds of patents for his inventions, including the first AC motor, which was quiet and did not spark, just as he had seen in his vision years before. He also invented the Tesla coil, a device that could create extremely high-voltage electricity and allowed him to experiment with wireless power and communication. He would often demonstrate it by lighting a bulb from across a room with no wires attached, amazing his audiences. His work with the Tesla coil was a major step toward the invention of radio. While another inventor, Guglielmo Marconi, was at first credited with inventing the radio, the U.S. Supreme Court later acknowledged that Marconi had used 17 of Tesla's patents to build his own radio device. In the end, the credit went to the true inventor. Tesla's greatest success came at Niagara Falls. A company wanted to use the power of the falls to create electricity, but Edison's DC system was not suitable for a long distance. Tesla's AC system was perfect for the job. His company won the contract, and in 1895, the power plant at Niagara Falls, using Tesla's generators, successfully sent electricity to Buffalo, New York, over 20 miles away. This was a wonderful moment that proved his genius and lit up the world. Even though his AC system was a huge success, Nikola Tesla faced many challenges. Edison and his team tried to stop him in what was called the War of Currents, a fierce public battle. Edison would spread false and dangerous information about AC power, claiming it was deadly, to protect his own DC business. To help win this battle, Tesla partnered with a businessman named George Westinghouse, who also believed in AC. At one point, Westinghouse was under a lot of pressure from his investors and had to ask Tesla to give up his rights to the AC patents. This was an incredibly difficult moment, but Tesla, thinking about the greater good of humanity and not about money, ripped up the contract and walked away from a fortune that would have made him one of the richest men in the world. His only goal was to see his invention light up the world. This selfless decision meant he would struggle for money for the rest of his life. In his later years, Tesla had one final big dream: to create a worldwide wireless system that would give free energy and communication to everyone on Earth. He believed he could use the planet itself as a giant conductor for electricity. He began building the Wardenclyffe Tower on Long Island, a huge structure that would be the centerpiece of this new system. He found an investor, a powerful banker named J.P. Morgan. But Morgan realized that if Tesla succeeded, there would be no way to measure and charge people for the power, and therefore no way to make a profit. Morgan stopped funding the project, and Tesla's dream of free energy was never realized. The tower was never completed and was eventually sold for scrap. This was a very sad moment for Tesla. He became more reclusive and lived a very simple life, living in a small hotel and spending a lot of time with pigeons. He felt a deep connection to them, and he would care for them, especially one particular white pigeon he loved very much. He lived for his work and his visions, even as the world began to forget him. On January 7, 1943, Nikola Tesla passed away quietly and alone in his hotel room in New York City. The man who had given the world light and power died in darkness, and it was a few days before anyone noticed. For a long time, he was a forgotten hero, while others received credit for his inventions. His name was mostly remembered by engineers and scientists. But over time, the world began to remember him. His patents were re-examined, and his many contributions to technology were finally recognized. Today, Tesla's name is a symbol of innovation, and his work powers our homes and our lives every single day. He is a true hero of science, a man who saw a better future for humanity and worked his entire life to make it happen, not for money or fame, but for the love of invention and for the good of all people. His legacy is the modern world itself, a world of light and communication, all because of his kindness and his incredible vision. And that was the story of Nikola Tesla, the forgotten genius who gave us the modern world. He showed us that true greatness is not measured in money or fame, but in the impact we leave behind for others. His life teaches us that kindness and vision may not always bring personal rewards, but they create a legacy that can change the entire world. So whenever you feel unrecognized, underappreciated, or forgotten, remember Tesla, because history may forget names, but it never forgets true contributions. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more life-changing lessons while improving your English, make sure to subscribe to Mystic English. Together, we will keep learning, growing, and getting inspired, one story at a time.